In this video, I'm going to go over guidelines of plotting histogram if you are using older versions of Excel. I think Excel 2016 after anything after 2016 has this histogram as a default Excel and chart type, but for older versions we don't have that. So in order to plot histogram, one of the ways that you can do that is by first installing one add-ins that all Excels have, and that is if you go to, so let me do one more time. If you go to File, Options, Add-ins, Manage Excel, Add-ins, go and choose Analysis Tool Pack. Right? So you want to have that tool pack selected, right? What I just did, if you are using older version of Excel, you might find that analysis tool pack somewhere else. You just need to go to Excel add-ins and select analysis tool pack. If you do that, go to data, you are going to get data analysis. All right. This data analysis, if you click on it, you are going to get a histogram option as well, right? It does a bunch of statistical analysis. Histogram is one of them. But if you go to histogram, it's going to ask you, hey, where is your input range? Of course, we have input range here, but then it's going to ask you bin range. So bin range, if you leave it blank, let's do that, all right? Input range, we are going to put it from here to here. And labels, we didn't select the first cell, so we are not worried about labels, right? And then chart, we are leave bin range blank. Then you are going to get this one, right? It's not a bad looking histogram, but again, these bins are selected a little bit not in a smart way. All right, so what you can do, you can tell Excel, you know what, this is the bin range that I want you to use. In order to do that, this is just one way of doing it. There are lots of different ways. What you are going to do, you are going to first find the maximum observation that you have here. Maximum observation. Oh, what happened? Maximum observation. All right, so you are going to find minimum observation. All right, so your data is somewhere between minus almost 6, minus 5.9 to 67. So range that you are looking at is max minus min. This is going to be your range. So your x-axis is going to be covering numbers from about minus 6 to 60, about 67. Now you got to decide how many bins or data clustering sort of bins groups you want to have. This one in your statistics course, probably you have seen some rules in the textbook. But again, rule of thumb is that in plotting histogram, you have somewhere between 5 to 20 bins. Less than that is going to reduce your accuracy of your chart. More than that is going to be a little bit confusing. It could be a little bit overwhelming. So let's just for the sake of discussion, let's say we go with 10 bins. So this means that the range of 72.9, I gotta divide it into 10 bins, right? So length of each bin is going to be, to be exact, is going to be 7.29. 72.9 divided by 10. Let's say 7.29. Let's make it 7. I'm going to choose 7 for one particular reason. So let's say make it 7. All right. So each bin is going to have range of the length of 7. All right. When we decide about bin range, the lower range of bin is going to the number of data points in that range is going to be between lower range and upper range. So you need to determine upper number of each bin. All right. So if my minimum observation is minus 5.9, I want the smallest upper range of a bin to be bigger than this number. All right. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to say this is equal to my minimum observation plus approximate length of each bin, all right, plus 7. So what does that mean? So in this bin that is between, technically speaking, minus infinity to 1.1, including 1.1, Excel is going to put number of observations in that range. So the next range is going to be equal to this one plus approximate length of each bin. All right, so it's going to be this one. So I'm going to press F4 so that I can drag this down all the way down here. Right. I'm going to drag this down until I hit at least that max observation of about 67. Right. So we are going to go a little bit more. So this is where I'm going to stop. Right. Let's see how many bins we have now. You don't have to check this, but let's see. We end up having 11 bins, and the reason that we end up having 11 bins because I put length of each bin a little bit less than 7.29. That's why instead of 10, we ended up with 11 bins. All right. So now we are almost done. We are going to go to data analysis, choose histogram. Okay. So input range is going to be, if you choose the whole, including the label as well. Let's choose it, but then you want to make sure that you have labels selected as well. All right, and bin range is going to be here, right? And we are done. So let's see what we have here. All right, so this is a histogram that we plotted. All right. Again, here it's a little bit, these numbers that you get here, they're a little bit they are funky. So I'm gonna change this, the formatting of this, right? So I'm gonna change this, go to home. Where is it? This one. All right, 1.1, 8.1, 15.1. Let me go here. 1.1, 8.1, 15.1. Yeah. So that number is right here. So this is the upper limit of each bin range. All right. Of course, you need to do a little bit of editing. If you like the general shape of this, go ahead and edit your graph. If you don't like it, then you got to change the number of bins a little bit here. So instead of 10, change this to 12, let's say, or change it to 8, and then plot another histogram. It's pretty straightforward. But let's say we are happy with this. All right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to again format this just to give you an idea the expectation. All right. First of all, this more doesn't have any frequency. I don't need to include that. So I'm going to get rid of that. Right. Okay. Because I'm just plotting one data set, I don't need this legend. I don't need that help. All right. So there's just one type of data here. So I'm going to get rid of this. I'm trying to use this white space as much as I can. Right. It's a little bit better if you, instead of having bin upper range, put something meaningful here. Let's say this is customer's age, this is customer's money, this is customer's whatever that is. All right. So put a meaningful label here, and preferably with unit as well. And in y-axis, same thing. You put a meaningful type label here, frequency of customers' money or something. All right. And then again, in title, put something here as well. Right. So in this graph, because we are plotting one data set, most likely whatever you put here as a title of the chart is going to be very similar to what you have put here as a y-axis label, but that's okay, right? And then you can play with this a little bit. Excel is going to give you a lot of editing options. So gap between each of these columns, you can play with that, right? You can see it's now narrower. They're gonna get closer to each other, and you can remove that if you want. So if you want to show boundaries of between these columns, you can go to border, solid color. Oh, no, that's not what I like. Sorry. You gotta select these columns first, go to border, solid line, and then now you're gonna see that line. Let's see what else. I think, quite frankly, this is just fine. But if you want again to uh, add background color, just go ahead. Please try to use nothing like this. I mentioned that in the previous video as well. Nothing like this. This is distracting. Right? Please try to stay with a little bit um, more neutral colors. All right. So this one, this is fine, but you can also get rid of this white background of this chart. So what you need to do, you need to select it and then fill. You can say, you know what, I don't want any fill there, right? And then there we go, you have this. Right? So if you don't like that blue, change it, fine. Change it to something different, right? And then if you want to add those lines, you can do that, right? Again, I'm not telling you to use just these colors, all right? It's up to you, but as long as you are using a little bit less extreme colors, I think we are good. And then later on, please do not screenshot this graph to your to your Word document. What you can do, you can simply right click on the whole chart, all right? Not here, not here, the whole chart area. Right click, copy, and paste it in your Word file. All right, I think that's it.